I've helped 87 men in the last 6 months alone get to the leanest body fat percentage they've ever been using a predictable form of metabolism manipulation called metabolic priming. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what metabolic priming looks like at a higher level, exactly how I position my clients' programs, and how I position their bodies to lose hundreds of pounds. So my name's Adam Bundle. I'm an online fat loss professional. I specialize in hormonal priming, body recomposition, and high-level forms of nutrition through metabolism manipulation. I've quite literally done dozens and dozens and dozens of nutrition consultations over my course of time, and metabolism manipulation through actual metabolic priming and precise nutritional factors has proven to be not only the most predictable, the most simple, the easiest effective way to lose the gut and get rid of it for good. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of my client testimonials and client transformations that I've went through the program that are quite literally eating hundreds of calories more per day and down in weight, right? So I want to share with you exactly how I position my clients into a spot where they can lose a significant amount of weight in the process of metabolism manipulation called metabolic priming that makes it most effective and most predictable. So right off the bat is that, one, you have to understand that everybody's body works differently, but understanding how your body works in the affordance of food, aligning the body properly to be able to lose a significant amount of body fat is the reason why my clients are down hundreds of pounds in eating more food, right? Which quite literally on the internet, nobody believes. So I'm going to share with you exactly some of the clients that are currently in what we call a metabolic priming phase, which is actually priming their metabolism for a cut, right? So when you prime your metabolism for a cut, you can do it properly by introducing carbohydrates and understanding which nutritional factors actually correlate to hormonal fluctuations in your actual hormone panel. So a lot of the guys on the internet think that, like, one, how are you able to predictably use nutrition in the sense of hormonal priming when you don't necessarily have a blood panel? And I completely understand. But with nutrition in general, getting the key factors of protein, carbs, and fats into place helped optimize all of your hormones in general. So it's not just about guessing what you need, it's about optimizing your health, your nutrition, and your hormones through precise nutrition, right? So we don't need a blood panel, we don't need a specific blood panel to see exactly where they're at. We optimize every part of how their hormone profile works, right? So for some of my clients, for instance, like Antonio is up 900 calories a day, right? And here's the stats to prove it. Mike, 1,000 more calories per day. 450 calories per day. Here's the stats. 800 calories a day. Here's the stats. 900 calories more per day. Here's the stats. 800 calories more per day. Here's the stats. 900 calories more today. Here's the stats. 700 calories more per day. Here's the stats. 300 calories more per day. Here's the stats. 1,300 calories more per day. Here's the stats, right? So I wanted to show you exactly what it looks like when we are priming their metabolism, right? So before I get into why we do this, I want to kind of shift toward the back end of things and take a look at what it looks like when we properly run you through it properly, right? So not only these clients only eat more food, obviously their gut has subsided, a lot of inflammation in their body has subsided, but once they get down to the program, these are the results that we're seeing. 100 pounds down, 100 pounds down, 40 pounds down, completely lost the gut and shredded, 20 pounds down, completely shredded at 50 years old. So this is kind of what the both ends look like, right? So the reason why is we start to prime their actual hormones and prime their metabolism before we start lowering the food is, one, we can utilize metabolic priming to align their body properly to lose a significant amount of body fat, right? And so as we start to raise their calories, one, I implement certain calories in the form of carbohydrates, protein, and fats to help optimize their hormone levels and to help correctly structure their body to utilize certain substrates of energy, right? So most people who come to me are significantly under eating on calories. As you can see, most of these guys are 2,200 calories under when they come to me, right? So it's not that they haven't been trying to lose weight for a while, you just don't understand how the body works, right? So as you start to lower calories, one, you start to downregulate a lot of your metabolism, right? As you start to lower calories, the active hormone of T3, which is your thyroid hormone, starts to lower as well. So you get to a spot where, one, you kind of get in a plateau and stuck where you're around 2,000 calories and you really can't move any weight, and you can't move any weight, like lose any more body fat, and you start to gain this kind of like gut and the kind of water retention around the lower body area. And that's particularly because, one, when you start to lower your calories, your body starts to burn less calories, right? And it starts to burn less calories, and your active hormone of T3, which is the thyroid hormone, starts to lower as well, right? So how we properly position my clients is, one, we utilize carbohydrates to influctuate T3 levels. As you start to introduce T3 into the body, or carbohydrates into the body, you start to increase T3, which is triiodothiamine. It starts to influctuate, giving you more of that hormone, right? So as we start to increase carbs, we're, one, using one straight of carbohydrates so we can optimize how the body utilizes carbohydrates in the form of carbohydrate metabolism, right? So as you start to increase carbohydrates, one, your body starts to use those carbohydrates correctly, transport those carbohydrates into actual ATP and energy, and actually start to burn through those calories and through those carbohydrates, right? So as we start to prime the body, to prime the metabolism, we are slowly each week raising carbohydrates, making sure that our fat and our protein is in check so we get good hormone imbalances within fat intake, and then a correct higher thermic effect of food with protein intake. And then we focus on raising the carbohydrates to correctly fluctuate T3 levels, but also make sure that we are utilizing the body's form of utilization through carbohydrate metabolism to optimize the body's burning of carbs. So as you start to go in low carb diets, one, your body starts to shift and start to use other substrates of energy like fats and protein, or maybe even active muscle tissue as a form of energy. That's where some people who go in low calorie deficits for a significant amount of time start to lose muscle tissue, right? Because the body's now using that muscle tissue as energy. So we want to get the body to use more carbohydrates as energy and transport more carbohydrates in usable form of T3 and also usable form of ATP. So now the body is starting to utilize more carbohydrates, and we are slowly each week giving the body more carbohydrates, right? So like me and my clients, like each week we'll give them like 25 more grams of carbohydrates when they check in, 25 more grams of carbohydrates when they check in. If we can tell within their body composition that, they are, maybe we need an extra week for the body to adapt to carbohydrate metabolism a little bit better, then we do that. It's just they check in each week with us, and we make tweaks with their program to help properly optimize their body's carbohydrate metabolism. So think about it like this. Now that the body is utilizing carbohydrates as its main source of energy, we now know what driver we need to increase calories, but also in the future decrease calories, right? So metabolic priming works because, one, you position the body to utilize more carbohydrates. You put a body in a better position long term, getting the body to burn more calories at a higher rate, optimizing your metabolism, raising your resting metabolic rate. And then when you get your calories higher, then you can add forms of like cardio in there as well, and start to lower them back down, right? And that's how my clients are making 100-pound transformations, is because like Phil, for instance, came to us eating 2,500 calories. We got him to 3,600 calories. He lost 40 pounds. But we made sure, one, not to do any cardio, right? We cut all our clients' cardio as soon as they come to us, right? And the reason is because we want the body to adapt to doing as low amount of cardio as possible, so the cardio has a bigger stimulus when we add it in, right? So Phil, for example, came to us eating 2,500 calories, raised him to 2,600 calories, optimizing his T3, optimizes carbohydrate metabolism and how his body utilizes forms of ATP through carbohydrates. And then we got to 3,600 calories. We knew what substrate of energy his body was already optimizing in, right? And then when we knew, we started to add a little bit of carbohydrates, and we start to lower the calories back down. So Phil's transformation here is 2,500 calories in both photos, right? 100 pounds down, 2,500 calories in both photos, right? Because one, we utilize his body by increasing muscle tissue, increasing metabolic presence with more muscle tissue in an actual strength training program, but also optimizes how the body burns energy and burns carbohydrates and uses ATP. And so we predictably know what we can take away when we get up there, right? So, and the same thing goes with Kevin. Kevin came to us at 2,100 calories. We got him to 3,400 calories, right? He lost 37 pounds, right? Eating more food, eating almost, I don't know, 1,300, 1,400 calories more per day maybe. And as we start to, get his body up there, losing weight, optimizing how his body burns energy, but also keeping the cardio low. When we do add cardio and we do lower calories, that stimulus is a lot higher and we don't have to get as low in calories. Kevin right here is 2,100 calories in both photos, I believe, right? Didn't ever get under 2,000 calories. Devin is another example, right? Came to us. Gut was extremely inflamed because what you don't understand is that when you are under a certain amount of calories, 2,000 calories for a certain amount of time, and you don't give the body proper amount of carbohydrates to put the body in a parasympathetic state of healing, it starts to eat itself away. It starts to degrade muscle tissue. It starts to increase cortisol levels. It starts to fluctuate digestion, and you get that gut, that like inflamed gut. And so we had to give him carbohydrates to actually reduce the inflammation in his gut and optimize his gut health and optimize his gut microbiome. And as we did, he started to lose weight, right? So I think in both these photos, Devin on the left is eating 1,400 calories a day, doing an hour of cardio a day. On the right, Devin is, I think, right at 2,200 calories, doing 45 minutes of cardio 5 times a week, right? But we were able to do this because we were able to get him from 1,400 calories all the way up to 3,300 calories per day, right? So when we got to 3,300 calories, we added a little bit of cardio, we reduced a little bit of food intake, and we knew exactly what to tweak and what to use and what to take away out of his diet because we knew his body was utilizing carbohydrates at a high level. That's when he started to lose weight. The stimulus of cardio was higher. The stimulus of lowering food was higher. And that is the predictable approach of losing weight and being able to lose the gut and be able to lose hundreds of pounds, right? And it's a predictable thing. It's a predictable form because it works every single time, right? With all of my clients, it's a very simple step-by-step process. With metabolic priming, we optimize their hormones, get the body to utilize one substrate of energy of carbohydrates, and there is a transitionary period where if you don't do this correctly, you can gain a lot of weight, which a lot of people have seen in the past, where you've probably added some carbohydrates and you maybe added too quick, maybe go out to eat to dinner, maybe go on vacation, you gain 10 pounds, 5 pounds within a day, and you revert back to what you've been doing, which is low carb for a while, and you kind of are in that never-ending cycle. There's a transitionary period where the body has to, one, go from utilizing fat adaptation, the form of energy, to utilizing carbohydrate metabolism, right? So that transitionary period is where we come in, my team comes in, and we check in on each week, making sure your body is utilizing carbohydrate metabolism to our advantage, and your body is starting to shift towards utilizing carbohydrates as a main source of energy. And as we start to utilize that, your body starts to burn more carbohydrates. We know what substrate of energy your body is optimizing for, and we're able to get your body up in calories, optimizing muscle tissue, muscle growth, and then when we get you to a certain calorie amount, and typically some people cap out at 3,300 calories. I think Antonio, he had actually commented earlier this week on him being above 3,000 calories and getting leaner, right? Phil, same thing, 300 pounds at 205, 95 pounds, 100 pounds down. Kevin, Nick constantly blows my mind, clothes are falling off, crazy, literally eating more food and still losing body fat. There's Devin, and crossing that body fat percentage teetering across 8%, right? And then Tristan, even, how many calories you eating per day? 2,000 calories up, and you're still shredded, right? So like, what we do is predictable, right? It is the most predictable way to lose the gut, right? And to lose the gut for good and keep it off for good. Because one, you don't ever have to put your body in a place of starvation. You don't ever have to put your body in a space where you're craving an immense amount of food. Most of my clients, we just got off a group call like an hour ago, And one of them once mentioned, they're like, I've never ate this much food in my life. I'm actually tired of eating food, right? Imagine if you were tired of eating food. Imagine if you were getting lean and you were tired of eating food. How much easier would it be to keep it off, right? And that's why we utilize this approach, and that's why it's predictable, and it is the most sustainable, right? But there's some certain systematic processes we put into place that allow us to utilize your body and to understand your body fully. And we teach our clients how to utilize it and how their body utilizes energy so they can keep it off. Because where most people go wrong is that, like, one, they don't understand enough to keep it off. The education on how to keep it off is understanding the process in general. So we teach each one of our clients within our back-end modules exactly how your body utilizes carbohydrates, how your body utilizes fats, the importance of certain things that we put in your program and why they're there specific to you. And so even when we're done working together, we can shake our clients' hands and knows that they can keep it off for good. That's why this is one of the last investments my entire program, the guys in my entire program will ever need to make, because it's a one-time investment to learn exactly what you need, to learn the step-by-step process, and to be handheld all the way through on how to properly structure your metabolism, properly structure your food intake, know exactly what type of foods to eat, when to eat it, and to properly and predictably lose the gut and keep it off for good, right? So if you are somebody who's been watching my channel for some time now, you've probably been watching and seeing my results, right? It's undeniable. What we do works, right? My client results are quite literally so undeniable. And if you need to go check them out, there's over 30 different videos on case studies, on testimonials, and I try to provide as much value for you guys as possible. So even if you guys are like thinking right now, there's no way his clients are up this amount of calories and he's getting leaner, go listen to him yourself. Like, I will leave it up to you to please do your homework on me, do your homework on the program, go check out some of the client testimonials, client case studies where I break it down step by step and teach you how to do it, and I'll let you make that decision for yourself. Because the client testimonials and like the results, they're quite literally undeniable. Like, you can't sit here and say they're not. But these guys, they make the investment in themselves, and it's the last investment you ever make, right? And, I try to add as much value for you guys on this channel to give you guys what you need to break your fat loss plateau and to open your eyes up to the correct way of nutrition, right? There's not enough knowledge and resources out there these days that actually teaches you the correct way to go about nutrition, especially when it comes down to what you need particularly. And I think that is incredibly powerful to have that type of knowledge available and to have that type of knowledge to be able to understand the way you look, right? And to understand having control over the way you look. So I want to give you guys as much value as humanly possible. But if you're like me and you just want a shortcut, right? And you're just like, say, hey, just lay this out for me on a silver platter, right? I will do exactly what you say. I will do anything in the world to finally get this gut off for good and get in the best position, best shape of my life today. Then sign up for a time. We'll see down below. I'll leave my link for my booking application. Me and my team will jump on a call with you, see where you're at, see what's currently stopping you, seeing if we can actually help. And if we can, we'll get you onboarded and we'll change your fucking life, right? Because that's what we do. Right? We change people's lives, right? And getting into the best body shape of your life is one of the most powerful things you can do. It helps in every aspect of your life. It helps with discipline. It helps with for the finances. It helps with relationships. It helps with confidence. And like, that's why fitness stems into other parts of your life. And that's why we change lives, is because once you understand this and once you get into the position where you're in the best shape of your life and you never want to look back, that old you is gone forever. So I'd love to see you on the call. I'd love to see you integrated with the program, get to meet some of these great guys that I work with. So if that sounds like you and you are struggling to get lean, sign up for a time down below, and I'll see you soon.